one of the most important things that I ever heard a player say was Barney Kessel on an interview in the 1960s when I'd only just started to play the guitar, and he was asked, how would you describe your style, and his response to that was, style is limitation. And I've always just thought that that was such a genius remark, because limitation is thought of by many people as being a negative. I don't think it is a negative. So for me, the ukulele, you know, it's not one of these, is it? It's, you know, it's a little tiny thing with 4 strings, which are gut strings or nylon strings. It speaks limitation immediately. Now, I really like that. I really like, and so my response to it was to say, okay, you little thing, let's do something which brings out the quality of the instrument. Let's do something which doesn't attempt to be anything but an investigation of what this little thing can do in a very clear way. So the first couple of things that I wrote on it were just about exploring the very simplicity of the instrument. So Rico, that tune that I wrote, put together of little tiny phrases, you know. It's a very exploratory sort of thing, but it's not attempting to be complicated. It's attempting to celebrate what the instrument does, you know. And it's a singy little tune, and you know, I mean, this is supposed to be about writing this interview. So I was thinking about how different my approach is to write on the uke to writing anywhere else, and I thought about it and I thought, well, actually, it's really the same, because what I do with the uke is I respond to the instrument. That's exactly what I do with all the other instruments that I play. And the reason that I play different instruments is because I want them to influence the way I write. So I might come to the same conclusion on different instruments in a way, but the instrument itself is always going to have an effect on the end product. And so one of the things that I try to do is I try to steer clear of cliche. You know, you can actually respond to an instrument by doing the most obvious thing that it suggests. I try not to do that. So, you know, I mean, it's hard to talk about this, but one of the things that the uke did for me is it made a suggestion to me, and that the suggestion is about the re-entrant string there. So it made me want to play clawhammer on it. made me want to play it like a banjo. I can't remember that third bar. Anyway, you know, it's
and this is an R.L. Saul, which I've not heard of.
yeah. Ron Saul used to work for Ernie Ball,
Yeah.
and he is just an incredible, meticulous maker of instruments. And I came across him actually because he was making banjos, so I have a master tone. He's the kind of guy who he wanted to play a late 1920s Gibson flathead banjo because he was really into bluegrass, and he discovered that the cheapest he could find one was about 35,000 quid. So he went, okay, I'm going to make one of those, and so he made these extraordinary master tone banjos, and I got one of those, and I also had him build a neck for a fretless neck for a banjo. And then sort of really early on in the resurgence of the ukulele, he decided he wanted to make ukes, and he made a batch, I think of maybe 8 or 10, all made out of different woods, and I got the pick of you know, I played them all and sat down and played them all, and I just really like this, which is, it's a very plain, simple little thing. It's mahogany, and I think it's a Sitka spruce top, and I just loved it. That was, when was this made? 2000. It was like 1st of February 2000.
Wow.
And it's beautiful. One of the things that I liked about it is, about the uke, is that if you play it with your fingers, if you don't attempt to play it, you know, as a rhythm instrument in the chordal fashion, then it sort of suggests other instruments to me. It sounds like a thumb piano. It's got really, or a kora even. You know. It's got beautiful sense of flow to it. I like the fact that I like playing it just with my thumb.
So much does the sort of playing the uke and playing? Because I know that a lot of people think of you primarily as guitar and then banjo, and we're in a room which is, goodness me, I mean, there's like everything you could possibly think of, including keyboards, mandolas, acoustics. How much does sort of playing one instrument influence and inform on another instrument and vice versa?
I think they're constantly feeding back from one to the other, which is why, for me, it's really important to have a room full of mad instruments. My guitar playing is so gigantically influenced by playing the banjo. You know, I got a guitar when I was 12 and a banjo when I was 13. And what the banjo did for me is beyond important. It's absolutely fundamental to everything that I do on the guitar. The way that you change tuning, the way that you use open strings, and so coming to the ukulele, I approach the ukulele like somebody who plays first guitar, second banjo, and then a bunch of other stuff as well, and looked at this little thing and said, okay, what can I bring to this that brings out its quality as an instrument. And I don't know, you know, I mean, I haven't played it massively. I just love it. I just think it's great. And every time I do play it, I'm moved, and every time I pick it up, it makes me write something, which is why I've just gone to the trouble of getting a new one.
A new one.
Yeah, because, you know, this is a tiny instrument, and I do slightly struggle with the scale of it. Not the scale in that sense, but the fact that it is so small. So, you know, the new ukulele that I've ordered, I think, is going to be a very